We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Welcome to Sugar Day, Money Supply, the big beautiful bill, Elon apologizing, Bitcoin rallying. Let me ask you something. Can Bitcoin go straight to 112? Can Bitcoin save altcoins? Yes. Yes, it can. Nobody's interested in Bitcoin these days. Why is that? I don't know. Yesterday's decline, nobody knew what it was about. I went through all my chart books. I found a Gann quote. Ready? Markets don't need a reason to go down. They need a reason and a crowd to go up. Markets can go down for random reasons. It's macro heads like me get trapped in that sometimes, going around looking for what happened. I mean, there were things that happened, right? But that decline yesterday was, I don't know, let's call it excessive. There's still resistance, but, when I looked at SUI, Cardano, Solana, I mean, that decline yesterday was Christmas in Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin's range is really small. So let's welcome who's here. We have MJ Hits, Tyler, Yav, Krish, what's going on? Warmon, SGSG, Arendam, and Blown Ideas. Hello, hello, hello. You guys got little Kaizen decorations now. Looking good. Okay, news. Let's go. Okay, the big, beautiful bill passed the Senate. And guess what? They made it worse. Okay, Republicans spent generations promising spending cuts. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. And here's why. Some years in the future, U.S. debt's going to be $175 trillion, and the only way out of that is to print. So why stop now? Why create a recession now? There's no reason to. They're going to pass this. Elon protested, and then we'll go over how that protest ended, and you're going to love it. Okay, money supply, all-time high. What Powell does with Fed funds is largely irrelevant. How much money is in the system, whether it's M2 related stuff or high-powered money that's kind of invisible, that's what matters. I mean, why do you think Stonks made a new high? Stonks didn't make a new high. Everyone was calling for a recession. 3 months later, it's making a new high. How did that happen? The plunge protection team, I'm guessing. New SEC considering a simplified automated process for crypto ETFs. What a genius idea to stop this tribal insanity. Like, it's my coin. Oh, no, I want my coin. Just fill out the paperwork and this is what you have, and done. Or not done. Genius. It's amazing market's not higher off just that. Okay, so again, global M2 liquidity hits an all-time high. Again, so many money supply experts on Twitter. It's really about how much they're going to have to print for the deficit and how much liquidity comes into the system via stable coins. Like, M2 is just an interesting graph that people enjoy because they're looking for a parabolic. They'll get their parabolic, just not on this timeline necessarily. Now, that said, that doesn't mean you can't have a Bitcoin gap move to 112 because Bitcoin has not traded the big, beautiful bill yet. Just a reminder, the dollar has lost 11% of its value this year, and I think you're headed for a gold and oil rally, both of them at the same time, a commodities rally, in fact, because again, how do you lower the value of the dollar? Well, you can buy the yen, you can buy the euro, or you can also buy gold, silver, platinum, oil, any commodity. Now, of course, that also includes Bitcoin and Ethereum, but we haven't gotten there yet. The market just hasn't traded it. God, would I love it if they traded it over a thin holiday weekend. Trump tax bill hits Republican resistance. Okay. So Elon makes a whole bunch of noise about primarying people. meaning funding opposition candidates because Elon's all upset about it, because they're spending all the money that he needs to go to Mars. Boo-hoo. Right. Doomberg, Trump risks voter blowback. Whatever. If everyone's getting their sugar, there isn't going to be any blowback, right? Guys like Thomas Massey are super popular, so you're not going to knock those guys out. They're great opposition voices, but you know, if it's going to be 175 trillion because of Social Security, Medicare, and defense, there's no reason to stop. So bond market can get hysterical. Bond market can go do whatever it wants, right? I mean, I got something in here where somebody says, yeah, the whole system's over leveraged, but you know, is it going to stop in your lifetime? Probably not. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, this market's going up. Okay, so on 1 minute, Elon vows to create new political party. Just like that, Elon apologizes. Tesla stock goes up. Credit where credit is due, resolving ceasefires in the Middle East. I'm creating a new political party. Someone takes his phone away. Oh, I'm sorry. Good job on the Middle East. Now, I actually think this is what turned it. Right. This is what turned it right here. So this is RFK Jr., right? And he is basically saying that shockingly, the orange man is very empathetic. Everybody thinks, okay, he used the word to describe the orange man as empathetic. So you have everyone cursing him off because of the big, beautiful bill. Then they put Mr. Super Credibility on, talking about healthcare related things. And he says that the orange man is a super empathetic guy. When everyone's coming down on him about the big, beautiful bill, I was like, that's game over. This market is going up. That was my thinking. Because if they just spend indiscriminately, then the next thing they have to pivot to is crypto, period. Right? Good luck stopping this bill. It's going through. It's going through. And even if it doesn't, I think Bitcoin can still go up, but Bitcoin can really go up if they go through with it. Okay. Elon just liked an X post that says he's secretly buying Bitcoin. So guess who's next? He's already sitting on $1 billion. He's already got $1 billion worth of it. You know, this guy's got to pivot to get attention. After Kennedy, it's Bitcoin, because they just completely shut the tantrum down. They just shut it down. I like this. Irrational exuberance, a term from the 90s. Fed chairman in the 90s came out and said the stock market is experiencing irrational exuberance. The market went down, and then the market went straight up for 1.5 years. That was the tech bubble. The tech bubble started with the Fed going, it's already irrational. So here's a good scare tweet. That's not a scare tweet. Okay, so S&P this century. Okay. So 2000 on, the majority of America is exposed to this via retirement accounts. This is the Case-Shiller home price index. If you have a roof over your head, you're exposed to this, even though there's less leverage in housing. This is household net worth influenced by stocks and housing. This is debt, very high. Okay. And then he says, will it break? Yes, someday, perhaps in my lifetime. Will it happen with a lifetime Democrat, spending addicted Democrat in the White House under the guise of being a Republican? Doubtful. right? That means everybody in Congress is 80 years old or 75 years old. So they're not going to see it in their lifetime. And I was like, oh my God, buy Bitcoin. Matter of fact, let me just do that right now. We're on the stream. Oh my God. I don't know how there could be any other conclusion, right? If you look at all the charts about the bubblicious stocks, bubblicious housing, bubblicious. Great. And how is crypto going to left out of bubblicious, especially after that stunt yesterday where they got me and everyone else rattled? And what a bunch of hootenanny. Okay, so there is a good point here from this particular trader who I like. It's got to break out. You know what I'm saying? It's got to break out. This like back and forth. Solana gets to the 200-day moving average and then comes off, right? This is Bitcoin sitting in this range, and Bitcoin needs a high volume breakout, or it needs a breakout in a thin market, which is what could happen over the weekend. That's what I wanted right before, they just tortured everybody yesterday. I mean, the case for Bitcoin overnight just got really unbelievable. Again, Deutsche Bank doing custody yesterday. No one cared. No one cares about this stuff until they do. I mean, it's unbelievable how much like positive crypto stuff. And I love this. Futures in Bitcoin chilling out. No one's interested. So I guess everyone who's bought it has bought it, right? They didn't want it at 106, but at 115, it'll be much more attractive. And they're really going to love it at 140. But right now, they don't love it. They don't want it. It's like you see these things, and it's like, if we can stop with the commercials and the tattoos, if we can stop that, the market can go up. For all you superstitious fans out there. Okay, so this is kind of funny. Bitcoin bulls be wary of death cross. So this is a really great example of how the death cross is probably not death. So what they're showing here is the dollar index chart. The white line is the 50-day moving average. The yellow line is the 200-day moving average. When the 50-day, the white line crosses below the 200-day, that's when the market dies. It's the death cross. It's the end. It's going massively lower. Okay. Naturally, when you name something the death cross, when it happens, everybody goes, oh my God, it's the death cross, and it's a bottom. That's it. Done. Time to buy. Never fails. They do this in crypto too. It's the death cross. It's the bottom. Okay. Now, in the dollar, there's a couple points to be made here. One, they may have reached a temporary limit of people's willingness to dump the dollar and buy other currencies. Like yesterday, I'm convinced that the yen scared everybody. The yen scared everybody yesterday. Didn't last long, but if the dollar goes down and the yen goes up, that's a problem. So, is the dollar going to go lower? Is this is going to work this time? Probably. Is it going to work right this second? I don't know. But I do know gold has been consolidating. Let's come off the screen share. Let's make sure I know what the hell I am. Gold has been consolidating. Bitcoin has been consolidating. ETH, after rallying 80% after being absurdly depressed, is stuck at 2,500 to the point where people are making cartoons about it. XRP is stuck, and so is Solana. Now, it's just a simple question. Like, what happens when all this gets unstuck all at the same time? Right? It only takes Bitcoin to break out. And even if Bitcoin leads and alts don't follow, it takes one big day to break out the whole market, because the market is sleeping on literally all of this. They're sleeping on it. And the reason that it matters is because if they can't buy the euro or the yen, They're going to buy gold, silver, oil, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Boom. Right? Because they've already bought euro, yen, sterling, Swiss franc. They've already done that. I don't think this is the bottom in the dollar, but I think you got to sell the dollar, or the value of the dollar has to fall by some other means. What other means are there? Grayscale ETF, XRP, Solana, Cardano, green light, sell the news. You know, they sold the news on the Bitcoin ETF at like 48K. That didn't work. Selling the news has worked, like the Bitcoin futures contract back in like 2018. That was sell the fact. The Coinbase IPO was sell the fact. Everybody loves to sell the fact. Everyone's a genius. You don't sell the fact on this. This is not priced in. That people don't realize it's very simple. People in equities love diversification. It's the opposite of crypto. There are no maximalists, no tribal communities, maybe NVIDIA. The equities are different, right? So if you come out with 5 crypto stocks, there's 5 crypto miners, Circle, they're going to be like, oh, wow, we can buy the ETFs. We can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, or maybe we can put them all in one ETF. They're going to do it. And they're going to buy it just because that's just, hey, we're going to, the Magnificent Seven is making an all-time high. Where is that going long-term? Where's that going long-term? I don't know. Maybe massively higher like 1998, or maybe nowhere. No, not compared to crypto. Not compared to crypto. This is unbelievable. Public companies bought more Bitcoin than the ETFs did for the 3rd consecutive quarter. I mean, these corporate treasuries, eventually this is going to end badly, but that's not going to be for like a year and a half, right? There'll be a correction, right? So Saylor is the innovator. These guys are the imitator. Eventually we'll see the idiot, but we're not there yet. Everyone's like, oh, these guys are all idiots. No, dude. This is just the start of the imitation. It's imitation. Right? DeFi Development Corp buys $100 million of Solana by issuing convertible bonds. So all the insurance companies and all these players that can't buy crypto, they're going to buy the preferred stock, which is the type of stock that they're issuing to get the money to buy crypto. They'll do it all day long, particularly with crypto in a range. For us, it's torture. For equities, it's like, oh, look, it's stable. Oh, look, it's not volatile. Oh, you need to borrow money. Oh, we love doing these deals at Wall Street. We make a ton of money. Crypto going sideways makes these trades easier. Okay, some launch on Solana, some launch on ETH. This summer, Ondo tokenized stocks will launch on both, because global means everywhere. This tokenized stock thing, holy cow. Tokenized stock trading live, Kraken, Solana, DeFi. There is going to be no Schwab account, no Coinbase account. There will be a Coinbase account, but there's going to be no outside brokerage firms, right? There's none of that. The whole thing's going to be crypto native, all in an exchange or a Phantom or a MetaMask. Kids are not going to, oh, yeah, let me open up a Fidelity account. They're not doing that. That is not happening, right? And the amount of money, it's like stable coins are going to FOMO in, right? They're going to FOMO in via Coinbase or the exchanges, right? It's going to be a whole different, it's going to be like, money pouring in to these exchanges because they all become one-stop shops. They're already saying Coinbase is the next Goldman Sachs. I think Coinbase is the next like Charles Schwab or Fidelity maybe. Goldman Sachs, it's Galaxy Digital. That stock hasn't gone up yet. Look at this. Arbitrum, Robinhood chain, powered by Arbitrum. Hello. Somebody joins and gets on an ETH layer 2. Look at this. All these happy people. Robinhood chain. Like, remember Gensler? Remember all this? Like, they're suing us into oblivion, and now they're having like oceanside parties announcing a lot of this stuff. And I don't know that it's been traded yet. I mean, what happens when equities people may come to crypto to trade tokenized equities, but why? They already have stock accounts, right? So if they come into crypto through Robinhood, right, you're pulling stock investors into the crypto universe. You're pulling in all kinds of liquidity. People who normally trade stocks are going to be able to just like trade crypto on one platform. How is that not creating, do you realize how much money is in global pension funds? I mean, that's not Robinhood, but I'm saying there's just a huge amount of liquidity sitting out there, right? Okay, so here's ETH on a 4-hour chart. And, these moving averages are a nightmare. They can't get through them. They just can't. It's a 200 period average on a 4-hour chart, and I just can't get a breakout. Right? So here's Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart, right? So you get the 9 bottom, this is what it's devolved into, right? Look at these candles, huge candles. It's like 3%. So down 9 bottom, the range is 105, 190 to 107, 862 until proven wrong. I don't know. Are we waiting for the bond market's reaction to the big, beautiful bill? I don't know. All I know is there's a 13 bottom in Solana, and I don't know. What are they going to do? What was this about yesterday? Right? It was stupid. I'm not going to give up on the 13 bottom just because they smacked it one day. They made me upset. I'm not going to lie. I was upset yesterday. Like, this, and like, I'm like, hey, there's a 13 bottom in Cardano. I mean, again, it feels like people were giving up yesterday. Really, Gann said it. You need the herd and a story to go up. To go down, you need nothing. Nothing. There doesn't need to be a reason to go down. I forgot that. Because yesterday, there almost was no reason unless there's something coming over the weekend that I don't know about. And you do have to be careful. There could be some huge event over the weekend. I don't know. I was kind of thinking the big event over the weekend was that they were going to announce like the Bitcoin strategic something. They were going to get the big, beautiful bill done. And then everyone's going to pivot to crypto. I was like, please. Okay. So trying to get on this AI trade. This is a 4-hour chart of virtuals. There is a Luxalgo buy signal from back when it was up above $1.60. It's holding right now, and money flow could go positive. I cannot believe there's not going to be an AI rally. I just can't. Speaking of AI, so John McAfee being brought back, antivirus, right? 3 million market cap. Now, of course, when you're at a 3 million market cap, low market caps, you can have crazy volatility. One big order moves it, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to show it on the air, but I am completely convinced that this guy in New York City has put a floor under privacy. I can't believe the whole crypto market is not up on this because nobody thinks it can happen, and that's fine because when they figure it out, it's going up. In the meantime, what this guy's talking about, hey, it's too early for him to be moderate. Sometimes these guys, they come back to the middle a little bit. Then again, maybe not. Listen to this. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani says Zoran is an enemy of America. He's the enemy of anybody with a lot of money in New York. He said so. All right. Zoran, Zoran is getting criticized for like a lot of stupid stuff, like eating food with his fingers. It's unbelievable. They hate this guy. And they're giving him all this PR every day. Democratic senator walks back her words after suggesting socialist candidate supports aggressive action in the Middle East. It's the mayor of New York City, the world's biggest financial district, maybe second to London. There is no way people are not going to want on-chain, and there's no way they're not going to want privacy. So my conviction just went up because this guy's not going away. I mean, I've read the articles of who voted for this guy. You know who voted for this guy? Kids out of college. Okay. So not his demographic. Let's put it that way. Kids out of college who are mad about social issues. Young people, in other words. So all the young people in New York City voted for this guy. Like, you know, the mayor is one demographic. He got all that demographic's vote and still lost. This is happening, right? And this is a huge event for the on-chain world. Just, it's not realized yet. Now, what is being realized is the big, beautiful bill. Sovereigns being crazy, right? Stonks at all-time high. So that leaves, you know, crypto equities are going to have a bid. That's not going to stop. So if stonks stay up and the Fed prints, the payroll numbers coming out, the first trade on that's always wrong. I think if Bitcoin survives that, Bitcoin can just reset itself to go to 112. In the meantime, we're just chopping around. But days like yesterday, I know people who got upset. I got upset. Everyone got upset. And then I looked at the news this morning. I looked at the charts. I'm like, all right, well, the charts aren't perfect because you can't get a breakout. But I continue to ask, and I always ask this, what happens when you do get a breakout? If you do get a breakout, there'll be a reason, per what Gann said, right? There'll be a reason, and you'll have the crowd with you. So the crowd over July 4th is waiting to hit the green button on crazy sovereign spending, a pivot to billionaires into Bitcoin, and institutional ETFs coming in mass with people in crypto not really understanding that everybody who's got the Bitcoin ETF is automatically going to want to have at least one of the other altcoins, especially since Ethereum's not outperforming, right? You know, Ethereum has its own reasons for going up, but anybody who owns Ethereum is going to want to own Solana and XRP because each of them has a separate narrative, and they're going to do it. Okay. So that is the market update for today. Don't get discouraged. Bitcoin may lead us out of the abyss. We will see you tomorrow.